For our first review of the night, we are talking about The Money Pit.
The Money Pit. And what I will say is that this kind of fits the pattern of if I'm not entirely enjoying it, I start rewriting it in my head. Although this one has a different pattern than normal. Uh,
Yeah.
I think we both agreed when we were talking about it that the second act was the strong point of the movie.
It was, yeah, because that's where all the great gags happen in there.
Yep. So the Money Pit is let's see here, what year was it? 1986 comedy starring Tom Hanks and Shelley Long as a not married couple, but basically a living in sin semi-married couple who uh, who who end up getting kicked out of the place where they had been staying, which was Shelley's ex-husband's house while he was in Europe, which that's a weird situation to be in.
Yeah. Yeah, and Tom Hanks he seems to be oblivious to this fact that they're in her ex-husband's apartment.
Yeah, the ex-husband casts a long shadow over the movie uh,
Yeah.
in many ways. And he's played by Max Bisart, or no,
Oh,
Bisart, I guess.
oh no, that's
Damn it, I did it again. Alexander Godunov.
yes. And audiences will recognize him as he was one of the bad guys in Die Hard.
Mhm.
He's the one with the really long blonde hair.
Yep. Now, as far as the overall plot of it, Tom Hanks is in a bad situation because his dad is the head of their law firm, but he has skipped the country to go to Brazil to marry some 20-something uh, local,
Yeah.
and has left the law firm in something of a lurch. So when Tom Hanks suddenly needs a house on the quick, he kind of has to jump at the first opportunity that comes up, which is this house owned by an old woman whose husband, German immigrant to South America,
Hmm.
might have worked directly for the Mustache Man himself
Yeah.
as a pool boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she needs to flee the country quick because he's getting extradited. Um, and so, the fact that they have this huge, uh, honestly, a small mansion that they got for a really good price. What do you know? It starts falling apart immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as they move in, yeah, everything just everything starts coming apart, and uh, the part that gets me is the staircase collapsing.
Yes.
Uh,
But there's like three acts to this movie, which I know that's like standard structure. But I mean, like, there's like three sections of gags for this movie, is the way I would put it.
yeah. Yeah.
The first part is you have a focus on their everyday life before they get the money pit, and just some of the wacky characters they meet there who
Yeah.
don't really impact much of the story.
No, not really. Yeah, you got like because Hanks's character. It sounds like his dad's law. He and his dad's law firm. They were like entertainment lawyers because all of their
Right.
clients are all like musicians and uh, like actors. Um, yeah, they had like one of their clients is this band of drag queens.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second for my thesis about why this movie doesn't quite hit in 2025, at least not to me as much.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but like probably the best gag in there is you have their real estate agent is trying to lose weight and he goes on jogs and you find out that he just constantly has heart attacks. But like he's running along or he's jogging along slowly and he has his heart rate monitor on. It starts beeping at him. Tom's like, "Hey, should you do something about that?" Nah, you get false readings all the time.
Yeah, yeah, these things are very good. And then they're hauling him off in an ambulance.
Yep. I thought the jogging was supposed to be good for you. It is. I could lift him into the ambulance now, says the EMT.
Yeah.
That is the best gag of the first half hour or so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second act, that's the money pit part of the money pit, where it's just everything in the house going wrong in the most ridiculous ways possible. Them getting a bunch of shady contractors to come in. In the process of making most things, it looks like you've destroyed it.
Yeah. One of the shady contractors is played by Joe Mantegna, who is sadly underutilized in this movie.
I think he's only in the one scene, right?
Yeah, he's just in one scene.
Simpsons fans will recognize him as the voice of Fat Tony.
Yeah,
and I was looking forward to seeing more of him in the movie. So,
yeah. And then he's had his brother coming over, who and his brother's like, oh, I'm not gonna work on this. Oh, come on, I'm desperate. Like, okay, well, write me a check first, and then I'll see.
yeah, it's just like it's the travails that many homeowners can sympathize with. Of the house they got on what they thought was a good deal has huge underlying problems that other buyers missed, or some other buyers picked up on,
Yeah.
and the strain that can put on your sanity and relationships.
Yes. Whenever somebody whenever somebody like buys a house that's, oh, it's a fixer upper, or somebody who is a house flipper, you always have to go in and go, have you ever seen the money pit?
Yep. Yeah. Second part of the movie, definitely the best part of it.
Yeah.
Then the third act, you kind of get into some unnecessary relationship drama.
Yeah, because they finally get a whole crew of people to fix the house up. Of course, the gag there is like, oh, well, how long is this going to take? 2 weeks, and they're like 4 months later, and they're still working on it.
Yep.
But yeah,
Those
they had,
contractors always lie.
yeah. And but yeah, they so the as DB pointed out, the kind of the shadow over the movie is, of course, Shelley Long's ex-husband, Max, who he's still madly in love with her and is trying to get back with her. And then one night, like Tom Hanks he's on a business trip in Philadelphia, and she doesn't want to spend the night in the house, so she spends the night in the apartment. And of course, she wakes up with no memory of anything that happened. And he says, "Oh, we had such a wonderful time. It was just great. It was the passion and da, 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 da."
Yeah. Now, I don't really have problems with spoiling this movie just due to us discussing our opinions of it kind of requires discussing the ending a bit.
Yeah,
Um, I would say that first act is all right, second act is good, third act kind of falls on its face.
yeah, because yeah, um, because it kind of makes Tom Hanks's character seem like a word that rhymes with duck.
Yes. Well, I mean, when you think about it, his dad is taking advantage of him. His he's been living partially off of the proceeds of his wife's ex-husband unknowingly.
Yeah,
Excuse me. Um, she ends up begging for money from the ex-husband to fund their home improvements.
yeah, and he's got contractors taking advantage of him. Yeah,
Yep. So
yeah,
it's like he's just always behind the eight ball in this movie, and you kind of hope that he stops or that he is able to like get it together, but he really doesn't.
no, he doesn't. Yeah,
It's like it seems like they're breaking up. He and Shelley are breaking up, and then like, oh, the guy reveals that they in fact did not sleep together. By the way, quick sidebar: boy, what a different world this is. Because in 2025, he would have been I as well.
yeah. Oh yeah.
and deservedly so, because he intimated that he did get her liquored up and then take advantage of her. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like that's what those laws are designed to stop.
Yes, yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah. Even in the '80s, that still really was considered scummy behavior.
yes, and
Yeah,
rightfully so.
yeah,
And the other thing that occurs to me is that if she had actually gone to the police with it, uh, would have been a very short movie, because he said, "Oh no, wait, no, wait, you misunderstand."
yeah. Well, part of me when it was all going down, part of me was kind of thinking like, oh, he's making it up. He's messing with her.
Yeah, I had the same immediate thought, because that
Yeah,
seemed like a little extreme.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so yeah, so like that whole subplot casts a pall over the third act of the movie. It just takes what, like, it had kind of been them versus the world, um,
yeah,
and it wasn't even like there weren't really any jokes that came out of it. It was just scenes of them shouting at each other
yeah,
in
yeah.
non-funny ways.
Yeah, although you had pointed out that Shelley Long had a really good line in there where she's walking out, and she's wearing like a really nice red dress, and
Mhm.
he's like, "Oh, do you have a date?" And then she said, "No, I'm going to whatever it was some."
I'm going out with the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to start with the quarterbacks and move. Or no, I'm going with I'm going that's right. I'm dating a marching band. I'll start with the trombones and move my way up, or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, so something like that.
Uh, by the way, hot take here. Tom Hanks, I don't think, is actually very funny in this movie.
Yeah, uh, yeah, not as funny as he was in other movies like The
Uh,
Burbs or
right,
uh, Dr-
or Dragnet.
Dragnet. Yeah.
I think it's because he's let's see, what's his name? So in the redone version of The Producers, the problem that my
Mhm.
dad always had with that one, and I have to agree with it, is Matthew Broderick was awful casting as the accountant,
Mm,
because he seems too cool. Like, you cannot make him seem believably neurotic.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
not like Gene Wilder did. Yeah.
right, exactly. Whereas Tom Hanks, like, same sort of thing here. Like, he's not entirely believable as somebody who's behind the eight ball so badly.
Yeah, I think you had a couple of casting suggestions other than him. I think like was Steve Martin was one.
Steve Martin was one, because he's like he would have been good at like he's good at like that cathartic release of rage. Like, see movies like The Jerk, um, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, yeah. He even has kind of a scene like that in Only Murders in the Building, the last season of it. And also I think he said John Candy, but I don't know. Some of those
Uh,
stunts might have been a little.
see, it's funny. I said that to you, over Discord, and then
Yeah.
immediately after, the stairs collapsed and he fell like 20 feet. And so it's like, never mind. That stunt would have killed Candy or anybody who had Candy's build believably for a stuntman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, yeah, he took his lumps. He did all right with the performance. Just, I didn't quite feel him in the role.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Shelley Long, on the other hand, was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the character she plays in this is actually not too different from the character she played on Cheers. Um, in fact, I want to say her character on that show was also a musician, but I might be wrong. It's been a while since I watched that show. Um, but yeah, kind of she had very similar demeanor and even she was actually able to play like the on Cheers. She and Ted Danson's character Sam, they were the will they or won't they.
Okay.
And I thought they played off each other very well because they were like the total opposite. Because she was like kind of this uptight and very intellectual person, and then he's the old and Sam, he was the old baseball player who owned a bar and
Hmm.
was a total womanizer. Um, so, but yeah, I mean, she was really, she was very funny on that show. She was funny in this. Actually, she left Cheers so that she could focus on her movie career, and I think this was one of those movies. So,
Well, it was a good choice in this case for her.
yeah,
I'll also say that in terms of the rest of the cast, Alexander Godunov, and actually, you know what, I put a pin in this earlier. I think part of the reason that this movie didn't quite hit the same way in 2025,
yeah,
what was edgy in 1986 is no longer edgy.
yeah. Yes, the drag queen rock band that I mentioned earlier. Like,
It's New York. You can see that if you in 100 places if you know where to look.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, or just take a walk along, or yeah, just walk around Times Square for about 10 minutes.
Yep. So it's like I'm watching that scene and I realize that, well, like, oh, they want to rename their band to be called Meryl Streep, and it's like that wasn't funny. Like you're relying on the shock value of this burly man in a pink dress.
Yeah. Uh, or the kid that he went to for the money.
Yeah, like the movie has some absurdist twists when, which is a weird take for when the overall premise of the movie is like is a grounded issue like house construction problems.
Yeah.
I'll also say that Alexander Goldanov's he wasn't really given a lot that was funny. Like it was
Yeah.
kind of like what's his name from Beverly Hills Cop, where it's like, what's the joke? Oh, he's foreign.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yes,
Uh,
Serge.
Serge,
Yeah.
yeah. It said Serge was both foreign and gay, where this guy was merely foreign. So
Yeah. Well, foreign and a complete and total self-centered, egotistical narcissist.
right. But yeah, it's like I think that I would have, personally speaking, I would say that this was like a okay movie, not great. I've been hearing it talked up for years, but this is probably a case where everybody remembers the second act.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. Yeah, like when people think of this movie, yeah, that's immediately what they think of are all the the house falling apart. Yeah, all those gags. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they forget about the other parts of it. Yeah.
Yep. So, what do you recommend it? It's on Netflix. It is, history tells me it is going to be better than any Netflix original comedy you're likely to pick. So
Yeah.
make of that what you will.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.